Well, I'm Craig Johnson. I'm a candidate for sheriff. I'm the current chief deputy sheriff at the Wise County Sheriff's Office, a position I've held for a year. Got about 30 years in law enforcement, tons of major case experience, tons of overall experience, master peace officer certification, gained a lot of different experience, but the main qualification is, I'm a believer in people. I'm a follower of Christ and a believer, and I think that we ought to serve the people as Christ served us.
Amen. All right. Well, we have 4 questions, Craig, and our first one comes from the Wise Republican Party, sir. The sheriff's field patrols are clearly understaffed, and with the fact that most Wise County cities and the sheriff's department are paying comparable salaries to be competitive, why is the sheriff's department retention rate lacking? And do you feel there is an underlying issue going on in this department? How would you fix these issues?
I do not believe there's an underlying issue as far as morale. The biggest issue has been salary. When our young deputies who have families can go down the street 10, 15 miles and make $40,000 more a year, that's a real concern. That's an industry-wide thing as well. We can't pay as much as the Metroplex. However, Senate Bill 22, which just passed out of the legislature this past session, is going to be a big benefit to us because it's specifically geared towards sheriff's offices for enforcement personnel and jailers, which will allow us to pay more than some of these cities. Our folks are really excited about that, and since that's come onto the horizon, that's been a big boost in morale as far as salary comparison goes, and that's been a huge benefit for us, and I believe it will be a huge benefit for us to continue. But I don't think there's a huge morale problem. We enable our people to do their jobs and serve our citizens.
Very good. Our second question comes from the South Wise Republican Club. It's a little lengthy. 70% of fatal dog attacks are caused by pit bulls. Dog owners are free to keep these dogs without any accountability, and they do not worry about their fences failing and or allowing their dogs to roam neighborhoods unleashed. Young children are at risk of being attacked or killed. What is your opinion about this issue, and how would you enforce the laws already on the books, and how would you persuade Austin's legislation to protect citizens from irresponsible pit bull owners?
We enforce things of that nature already. We issue citations for nuisance animals. We issue citations and hold people accountable for dog bites. We quarantine dog bites, and those are serious. We've fairly recently had an animal control officer that was viciously attacked by a dog. So to me, the pit bull is not necessarily, it can be a scary breed, but it's not necessarily pit bull specific because we see it from multiple breeds. Now, when we're talking about what would we do going forward, work with our legislature, work with our representative, work with our senator, tell them we need additional help. We need additional ways to enforce this. Let's raise the fine amount. Let's do some different custodial type issues, and really might even need to see about adjusting the civil liability for things of that nature.
Okay, very good. Our next question comes from the Patriot Society in Boyd, Texas. Are you willing to put on notice any federal agency such as the FBI, the ATF, DHS, or the DOJ, etc., that they may not enter your county without first notifying the sheriff and having express permission from the sheriff to go after any citizen or resident of the county, whether there is a signed warrant by a judge or not? If so, how would you accomplish that?
So the answer to the question is that's best established through the working relationship and clearly defined roles with those federal agencies that you just mentioned, the whole gamut. Sometimes it would be possible for them to come in without our knowledge. That's where you go back to the working relationship. If they have business to take care of, then it's a good customary thing that we adhere to say, hey, give us a call, say, hey, just FYI, I'm in a backyard. I'm in your backyard, and we've got something to do. And if it's something that we believe they don't need to be involved with, and I don't have a problem stepping up at all and protecting our citizens. We serve the citizens. The sheriff's office is a unique creation specifically for that. We stood up to the FBI during the Athena Strand investigation and kicked them out. Fortunately, they came back with their hat in their hand and worked incredibly hard, so I was really proud of that. But that's how I would choose to do that.
Very good. Our final and last question is from the Wise County Conservatives. To whom or what, and by what means, does the county sheriff stand accountable?
The county sheriff is accountable to the voters. That's where we're different than a police department, which is a subdivision of a municipal government. We don't answer to the city manager. In the county, we don't answer to the commissioners. We don't answer to the county judge. We answer to the voters. Now, commissioners control the purse strings. They set and control the budget. So there is that little bit of caveat, but we don't answer to those. We're accountable to the voters. Right. And we're accountable to the voters, in my estimation, by whether we uphold the Constitution, federal and state, and whether we abide by the rule of law. Those are how we conduct business there now, how we have in the 7 years since I've been chief, the second in command there, under Sheriff Aiken, and that's how we will do it going forward.